What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Bain coming to you live, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, right here in Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbing and Grubbing, man. Rubbing is racing, grubbing is tasting. Bringing everything NASCAR news midweek, man, getting you prepped up for that race on Sunday, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always, greatly appreciated. Man, we're going to get right into it. So if you know how we always start the show is going to be the word of the day. Man, we have absolutely no idea what this word is going to be. Basically, the way we play along is every time I say this word during the show, you're going to take a little sip of adult beverage, or like I say, it's always age-friendly as well. Kids can play along, get some Kool-Aid, take a sip every time I say this word. Last week's word, was All Star. So there it is. Don't know how many times I said it during the show. Probably quite a few. Probably had a good time if you watched last week's show, and that was the word for sure. Thank you, brother. Man, so Lawrence is going to throw a word right up here. Like I said, every time during the show I say that word, make sure you take a sip. This week's word is going to be, so moving right along, man. Getting into some NASCAR news. Man, you guys already know where we're going to start this off, man. We always name that winner of the race the week before. Kyle Larson brings home that nice, cool $1 million, man. First ever All-Star Texas race. Thought it was a great performance, great race. Thought they did a good job promoting it. Thought the race was very interesting. Loved the format. Ready to see what we do with it in years to come, man. Not a point-paying race, but it is a great way to go out and just show how dominant you've been in the last month or two. So big shout out there again to Kyle Larson, man. Hey, big NASCAR news right here. Changes are coming in the Coke Zero 400 later on at Daytona later on this year, man. So NASCAR, with their safety department, has come up. They're going to take away some horsepower here at Daytona in the restrictor plates in the future for this season, starting coming up in Daytona at that Coke Zero 400. Not quite sure exactly what they're doing yet, but they're basically just trying to make it safe, man. We've had some issues as of late in some of these races with cars going airborne. We saw it in that horrific crash with Ryan Newman. As you know, we're all glad he's still around. That worked out great. But we also saw it here in the recent future with our recent past with Joey Logano. Got airborne there. Great in-car view from Bubba shows exactly, one, not only how quick you have to react, but how insane that is when a car gets airborne. So definitely working to keep these cars on the ground. Gonna see how this affects that pack style racing and how it affects the run and how it affects what these guys are going to need to do to go out and make the moves and the blocks and what they've been able to do. I have a feeling that it is definitely going to cause a little bit of mayhem, just for the fact we all know clean air is king. The guy out front's able to block whichever run he wants to block, top or bottom lane, middle lane. And I got a feeling when you lose this horsepower, it's definitely going to stall that car a little bit faster than what it has been. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But man, hey, glad and excited to bring a new little addition to the show as we got going on, man. Another great style of racing out there to put your eyes on if you're a race fan in general, man. You got that SRX debut this last Saturday night, man. Was awesome, pretty interesting. Watched some highlights of it on YouTube. Pretty neat little deal, man. A lot of legends out there. Kenny Schrader out there. Went out and tested the car for Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham, man. But big shout out to those two guys for coming up with a great racing platform and a great series. I think this is going to be pretty exciting. Going to have to stay tuned, see how it goes, man. But we'll get it. But the top five giving it out right there. Doug Coby brings it home. Biffle was second. Tony Stewart third. Helio Castroneves brought it home fourth. Fifth place, rounding it out, was Bobby Labonte, man. So like I said, got another race coming up this week, coming into Knoxville Raceway. Historic little dirt track there, man. Definitely going to be good. So if you hadn't checked it out or didn't even know anything about it, make sure you tune in and check out that as well, man. We'll be keeping you updated on that top five every week from that series as well, man. Hey, man, few little things in the All-Star race. Very exciting little event, man. You had Eric Jones there spinning out, collecting another car. Christopher Bell lost it. Bubba Wallace lost it. I mean, these guys, it was crazy, right? Texas is known for that. I mean, it's just how interesting and how close these guys are to those cars on the edge, especially there at Texas, for them to get out from underneath them the way they do there. But yeah, made for an exciting All-Star Open, man. Great little race. So There again, as I always say, man, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Like, share, follow everything we do right here at Coaches, and on top of that, and Rubbing and Grubbing, man. Check us out there on YouTube. Check our channel out. Subscribe. Like I say, every Saturday, Lawrence, our producer, man, goes through, edits it. A little bit different show than what it is live on our Facebook page, so definitely make sure you check that out. It is well worth your while. Lawrence does an absolutely amazing job putting it all together. And like I said, it even gets you ready for that race on Sunday morning if you want to do that as well, man. So, like I said, All-Star recap. As we always said, great race wherever they go. We've hopped around from Charlotte and Bristol last year to now at Texas Motor Speedway. All-Star race is always a great event. Like I said, no points being paid. Run it how it comes, man. Cool, $1 million. You see tempers flare at times. You see guys definitely doing things they wouldn't do in a normal race, man. At the end of the day, it's not a point-paying race. It's a big check-paying race, man. And what a great race and a great format they had this year. I absolutely thought it was amazing, man. Here we go with that new nickname stuff, man. Kyle Young Money Larson goes out here and made a lot of new young money and $1 million he gets to take home with him. Like I said, I thought my boy Chase was going to hold him off there on the last one. He got that good push he needed. Larson just made that move right there to the outside. Side drafting back and forth for a few laps, man. But at the end of the day, what an amazing race right there. You know, I thought it was awesome. Clean air was everything, which was good to see. These guys were definitely getting after it, man. So good. As we say, man, could this be a championship season for Kyle Larson? I mean, if you're asking me right now in the championship races tomorrow, I mean, you have nothing but to bet on Kyle Larson. So we're about halfway through the season. We got a long way to go. It feels like we've already been doing this a long time. We still got another halfway to make it, man. We got 8 races here before that field's set for the playoffs. Those final 10 is definitely going to be where it's made, where that money's made, and where that championship's won. So we just got to see and make sure this momentum carries over, not only for Kyle Larson, but in the Hendrick camp as well. Definitely want to see if my boy can go out there and go back-to-back championships. I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere, man. It's a great possibility that could happen, man. So there again, with that format, man, these late race restarts and obviously the pit crew meant so much in this race right here. I really liked how they inverted here and there, and the final 10 laps I think is amazing. A long run right before it to kind of set the field, get those guys the time to adjust in their race cars, get an idea of what they need to do on that last stop to go out and just make it as fast as possible for 10 laps. And what a great 10 laps it was right there, man. So big kudos on that as well. Man, like I say all the time, Chase Elliott brings it home third, man. I thought for sure he was going to, you know, get that win. I thought maybe going to see that move by Larson. We saw that same move Ross Chastain tried, and it didn't work out for too good for him. And I'll be damned if it didn't work out too damn good for Chase Elliott either, man. Throw my dollar in the swear bucket. As you guys know, every time I swear, a dollar goes in, going to charity, man. But, man, I thought he was going to go out there and he was going to get it. Just didn't work out that way. He raced him hard there for a while. Ended up losing that second spot there to Keselowski as well. So at the end of the day, man, I knew he wanted to go out and do it, win a couple $1 million, back-to-back All-Star races, man. What a payday that would have been for the young driver in Elliott. But going to be plenty more in this guy's future. Guaranteed you're going to see him bringing home plenty more of these All-Star checks. You can guarantee that, man. Man, I tell you what. Another big shout out coming out of the 9 camp, which I can say this, man. Chase Elliott's pit crew bringing it home, winning that $100,000 payout for the fastest stop of the night. Best pit crew right there. You know, him and Kyle Busch, I say, are 2 of the guys that have amazing pit crews for sure. Man, I tell you what, Elliott didn't get the extra zeros added at the end of that $100,000, but his pit crew at least got that, man. So big kudos to that, and what a momentum builder for them as a team. Coming into these summer months in the next 8 races that we all know are very important there again to get into that championship, to be successful in that championship run, those last 10 races, man. So moving right along, keeping it hot, man. Chase Elliott, he's going to be bringing it, man. Surprise, surprise, man. Those Penske Fords showed up at a 1.5 mile raceway, and I tell you what, it was kind of a sight for sore eyes in a way, not for me. But we know my producer Lawrence there. He's a big Ford man, so he loved to see it. PJ Zuko also on Greenway Checker pretty much called it out, maybe that some of these Penske Fords would come back, and they did. They ran strong. interesting fact, man, between the Penske Fords and Hendrick Motorsports, man, they filled the top 7 spots there. That'll tell you something right there, how that race went and what they showed, man. So that's something to be said, man. Like I said, those two teams, we talked about it this past Sunday as well. Who could emerge to kind of challenge the Hendrick camp? My guess wasn't the Penske Ford. We all know that they're capable of it. I went with another guy, but there again, man, I tell you what, they showed up. We'll have to see if that momentum carries over as we get into these point-paying races, and we have to make that long run, the 400, 500-mile races. We'll see if they can keep that momentum rolling that they gained at the All-Star race, man. Point standings as of right now didn't change from last week. Wasn't a point-paying race, but we'll run them back real quick again, man. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Joey Logano are your regular season point leaders right now. So what that tells me is the 11 of Denny Hamlin has been extremely consistent, even though the 5 has those 3 regular season wins, as well as the 19 that you don't even see on that list, right, on regular season. That just shows you who's consistent. Race wins are one thing in the regular season. They're a totally another animal in the playoffs. So regular season gets awarded a little bit as well. We just got to see how this plays off and who continues to gain that momentum. But looking at the important picture and the playoff picture and where we're going to start some of these playoffs going in, man, this is where it swaps up. Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., then Denny Hamlin. So the regular season leader finishes third, coming in third. 4 would be Chase Elliott, and 5 is going to be Logano there again. So like I said, these guys with those race wins and those stage wins, paying dividends once we get into those playoffs. You see Kyle Larson's dominance as of the past few recent weeks, man. And I tell you what, I do not think any of that is going to change as we roll this right into Nashville. I really don't see it changing, man. So we got to keep an eye on it. But those are your regular season points right now. Going to see where it goes. Bubble watch, there again, that last 16 spot. You got Austin Dillon sitting there. You got Matty D, and you got Kurt Busch right there on the outside looking in, trying to make the move. Those two are very close. They're a few points out. Going to have that 3 Austin Dillon to have a couple bad runs, or somebody maybe in 17, 16 to have some real bad inconsistency and bad runs to get themselves locked into that top 16. Or, man, I tell you what, they go out and they get a win. Any of those two guys right there are both capable at any given time to go out and get a win on a racetrack. So they show up right weekend, right time, any given Sunday or Saturday. One of those guys could lock themselves down without having to race it in so much. So we'll just have to see where it goes. But that's your playoff and your regular season point standings as of now, man. Getting into the main most reason why I love doing this show right here. This is what it's all about, man. The checkered flag for charity, right? So Rubbin and Grubbin, we're all affiliated here on Coaches Sports Network. You got the Coach Carl does a few shows. AD Chad Griffin. We got the 19th hole at times. We have Hot Grits podcast. At the end of the day, man, everything we do up here is for charity, man. This year we get to do it for Help Save one of your own, man. But basically what we do on Rubbin and Grubbin, checkered flag for charity. Whoever wins that race that week before, we donate that car number into our swear bucket, which then in turn we tally that throughout the season, and we give this up for whatever charity we decide to do that at the beginning of the season. So this year, like I said, Help Save one of our own. Local charity here in Savannah, helps out so many local families, big members of the community, man. They do such great things for so many great people, have helped us up here at Coaches for numerous events that we've held. So this time we're helping help save one of our own, right? So we're helping raise money to give to them to help somebody else. It all stays local, tax deductible, man. I tell you what a great cause, man. So as we all know, that 5 car, Kyle Larson, won that race this last week. 5's never good enough, man. As you guys know, it's always going to be a minimal 20. Boom, 20 bucks into that bucket right there. I tell everybody all the time, man, if you're a patron here at Coaches, you come up here, you guys know what kind of people John and Adele Henderson are, as well as the crew and staff that works here at Coaches. I tell you what, man, these are 2 people that own this establishment that will do anything for anybody, that help the community. So you got to help us help them, right, man? Come up anytime you're here at Coaches. Let your server know, let the bartender know, hey, man, I want to give a $1 donation, round it up, we'll take the change, doesn't matter, man. As I say it all the time, man, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, 10s, 100s, 50s, does not matter. Bring it up, throw it in, man. If you're ever live for the show, come up, make a donation live on air. If not, like I said, servers, bartenders, John or Adele Henderson themselves, man, they make sure it goes to the right place with the right people. And like I said, this isn't capable without you guys out there watching, without you guys coming up and donating for these good causes, man. So the local community, help support the local community. I know we got a good community here in Thunderbolt and surrounding areas, Savannah, man. So show up, show out, help us raise some money to help save one of our own, man. Hey, like I said, man, we're getting right into another great thing that I love to do here on Rubbing and Grubbing, man. And what that is going to be is who's hot and who's not. Now, over the last few weeks, this hasn't changed very much. If you guys watch that All-Star race, we all know it's not going to change much after that either. There might be a new player that slides in off one onto the other list, but it's not big changes. So there again, if you've been watching the sports, you got to know Kyle Larson is absolutely on fire. In a league of his own, man. We all like to say those Hendrick drivers, like to compete with them as well. They're running with them, but at the end of the day, man, this guy is going out and putting on a show every single race that we go to. Dude has got to be number one, man. 5-car at Hendrick Motorsports, man. Got 3 wins on the season. Can anyone go out there and challenge this man other than his teammate? We talked about that a little bit earlier. I mentioned it. As I said, me and PJ Zuko, Green White Checkered, talked a little bit about it this past Sunday. Man, my guess was going to be this guy right here, Sean Herbs. I think Sean Herb would probably marry this guy if, he'd let him, man. So anyways, his favorite guy, I said this guy right here, I think to me still has some of the most talent out there on the racetrack. I'm not a huge fan of it. Not that I don't respect the man and his talents and for what he does, but this guy could get hot at any time, go out and go on a tear, man, and really maybe I think kind of compete with those Hendrick Chevrolets. Now, PJ's was on the other side, and what we saw at the All-Star race getting those Penske Fords and definitely some JGR. I mean, we both knew they're coming out of those teams. Those are big powerhouse teams in the sport. So we know somebody out of those camps are going to challenge. Who it might be, we're going to have to wait and see. But right now, 5-car of Kyle Larson's just absolutely dominating, man. I got to throw his name out there. We just talked about a Penske Ford, man. Brad Keselowski really impressed me here in this All-Star race in that format. Had a really good car there. As I said, we got to see if this is going to carry over into this week at Nashville, be able to go out and perform a full-length 400-mile race and carry that momentum into these next 8, build that momentum when we hit the playoffs. We'll have to see. A past champion in the sport, man. He's got some big news to announce at the end of the year, whether it may be him staying at Penske or whether it may be him leaving to take on a ownership role and a driver role over there at Roush Fenway. He's got a lot of stuff going for him, man. I think the guy's uber talented. Him and Paul Wolf are a great driver, crew chief duo there for the longest. Both of them very scientific about the way they go on, I think, about planning these races. And not only that, the communication way. So great race car driver. Gonna have to see what happens, but right now he's on the trend in the upward direction, man. Hey, like I said earlier, got to give a who's hot and who's not. All 4 Hendrick Chevrolets still on fire. All 3 Penske Fords definitely came back to show that horsepower that they're able to produce. Got to see it continue, but right now they're driving it upward direction. Top 7 spots in that All-Star race either came from that Hendrick camp or they came from Penske. So that tells you something right there on where they're at and the direction they're headed when they're able to bring something to just run, man. So motor-wise, I think they're in a good spot. We're going to have to see, like I said, if this is going to carry over there into Nashville or not. And don't have long to wait. It's coming up Sunday, so we'll just have to wait and see. All right. Now we're getting into who's not, right? So, like I said, there's some guys on here, I mean no disrespect by it. It's just not what I expected. So I'll let you guys know, if you watched last week's show, these first 2 spots aren't changing much. Denny Hamlin leading the regular season points, man, and I still think he's cold right now. I mean, as I said last week, this is a guy that had 7 races, however many stage wins last year, launched himself into those playoffs, very dominating, gets in the Final 4, falls flat in a way, which has kind of been the story of his career, not taking anything away from Denny Hamlin. I think the guy's an amazing race car driver, but we like to refer to it as kind of the Mark Martin syndrome, right? Like Mark Martin's one of the best to ever do it in the seat of a Cup car, and finished second how many times in the championship and never quite got over the hump to get that championship. We'll have to see. Denny Hamlin's still got a good bit of career left. We'll have to see if he gets that championship. But as of right now, finished dead last in the All-Star race. I don't know, issues, whatever may happen there. finished dead last, man. So I don't know. He's just got to get it together. They got to get it together as a team. They got to get some positive energy, positive momentum rolling back in that race camp. Or I got a feeling once this regular season's over, they might fall a little flat there again in that championship run. So Kevin Harvick, another guy, man, we talk about 9 race wins last season, very dominating for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Part of that big 3, as we called it a few years ago. Not anything to even write home about this season. A few top 10s there at the very beginning of the season. Right now, I don't know if they can find their identity. 15th in the All Star race, you expect him in that Ford and what they've done there at Texas especially, to bring a better piece of equipment than what they did. So they got to get it put back together. There again, another guy that really needs some positive runs, positive energy in that workshop, man. Or I tell you what, another guy that could, there again, be left out like he was last season, or even worse, go out earlier, very early. So he's got to get it together, man. Like I said, I read he's going to rock the Gravedigger paint scheme here coming up at Nashville this week. I tell you what, Kevin Harvick could possibly be digging his own grave over there at Stewart-Haas, man, if he's not careful. Got to get some race wins, man. Got to go out and get it done, brother. Hey, Martin Truex Jr., I got the big 3 on the who's not list. I mean, this is kind of crazy. If we did this 3 years ago, these guys would definitely be going, oh, he's hot, he's hot, he's hot. Right now, they're, again, not taking anything away from him. 3 race wins, man. But like I say, at the end of the year, at the end of the season, what we got going right now, not running very good, man. Not on fire. Inconsistent, very bad run right there at the Coca-Cola 600, man. A place where you've seen Martin Truex go out and dominate I don't know how many times. Didn't have a good run at all. Turns around in the All-Star race. Not a good run as well, man. I don't know what's going on over there. That's 2 major teams over in JGR that just don't have their stuff together right now. So, like I said, not taking anything away from them. I know these guys could go out and at the flip of a switch, get hot, win races, win stages. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as of right now, they got to get this ball rolling, or there's a lot of guys right now that are already rolling that are going to roll right over them. So, got to get it together, man. Hey, this is where I like to give a huge shout out, man, to my buddy, my main sponsor right here on Rubbing and Grubbing, Mr. Parker Eccles, Arbor Man Tree Service, man. I tell you what, the guy's an amazing dude. Helps out up here on Four Coaches Corner Causes, as well as Rubbing Grubbing as well. Thank you, brother. Love you, man. I'm going to be giving you a call this weekend about that Atlanta race. Got some info for you on all that stuff, man, but I'll give you a call. Like I say, you guys, if you need any kind of service, done for trees, you need an estimate, you need them to come, look at some branches you need trimmed back before hurricane season, tree removal, stump grinding, doesn't matter what it is. Like I say all the time, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Make sure you give Parker a call, man. Hey, that's all I can say. That's my bud. I say it every week. That's my dude right there, man. Love you, brother. Thank you for everything you do, man. Hey, like I said, moving right along. We're getting into Nashville. Man, I tell you what, one of my favorite things out of Nashville, which we probably should have grubbed on tonight, is a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, man. Clucking hot, as I like to call it, because I'm not going to say the other word, but I will throw $1 because I did reference it. But, I'm telling you what, man, Nashville hot chicken sandwich is where it's at. Probably should have thrown it down tonight, but I didn't. But, hey, at the end of the day, going there, man, NASCAR's been there. Cup Series hasn't. It's going to be very interesting to see. There again, what we like to refer to as one of these wild card races. Not only is it a new race that's thrown into the schedule somewhere, it's also on a track where none of these guys have been in a cup car, maybe some testing or something, probably along the lines it's happened. Xfinity trucks, yada, yada. So you do got a lot of guys that do have some experience there. Now, with that being said, don't know how many years ago and how much these cars change over year to year. The guys that maybe raced last year or the year before that, past couple years, are going to have a little bit more feel for what it's going to take, I feel like, in the Cup car. We're just going to have to race and see there again. Might even have a couple guys go in and race that Xfinity race or that truck race there just to get some seat time, just to get a feel for the racetrack and see what it's doing. But there again, how much travels over, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. The Ally 400, man, right there. Live Nashville Speedway, man. 1.33 mile track, 18 degrees there in the corners. I think it's 9 or even less flat in the straightaways. It's not like an Atlanta, not like a Charlotte, not like that. It's not 24-degree high banked, man. This is a little bit more flat, more along the lines of a Miami banking, not progressive. Different style of racetrack. I'm very interested to see how they're going to race here. Love the fact that NASCAR is taking the show to new places, getting more new fans or fans that weren't able to see the Cup cars there, eyes on those Cup cars. I think it's a great thing they're doing. I absolutely agree with it to be at Nashville. If we're not going to go to some other places, I think that we should probably go and race. But hey, man, great call by NASCAR for adding that onto the schedule, man. Stage 1, 90 laps. Gonna be a caution there. Stage 1 winner. Stage 2 is gonna run to 185. Then that final race win is set for 300 laps. As we all know, we could go green, white, checkered. Could have a couple overtime, restarts. Who knows? But it's scheduled for 300 laps, 400 miles there in Nashville, man. So, like I said earlier, some guys got some experience. You got the guys like Ricky Stenhouse and Martin Truex and Daniel Suarez and Elliott and Byron and Bowman and Busch, and these guys that have come up through Xfinity and continued to race there, over years past. They do got some experience there. They've actually raced a car on the track. There again, how much that carries over in today's car, I would see recent future. Other than that, man, it's just knowing the track and knowing what it feels like. So, gonna have to go from there. But moving right into those top 5. As you guys know, if you watch the show, this hasn't changed for about the last 3 or 4 weeks, man. I did take somebody different there at Sonoma. Came up a little bit short, man. But at the end of the day, like I'm saying right now, the 5 car is on fire. We're going to close to another 1.5 miles. Guy's probably going to go out and run very, very good again. You would be absolutely ridiculous to bet against him. I know Vegas has him up there as well. 2 for me is a guy that if I'm not going to take him number 1 every single week just because he is the man, that's Mr. Chase Elliott, man. Like I say all the time, Little Bill there, one of the best drivers, go out, can win every week. The guy's got some experience there. I think he's going to be able to go out, probably run really good, could contend for that win. I hope he does. Go get him, Chase. You my boy, man. 3, a guy that I bumped up on the list compared to some of the betting guys just from what I saw last week in that All-Star race. Like I said, I want to see if it carries over this week, but I got a feeling it's going to. I got a feeling that they kind of got together, had a little meeting. We're going to see how they run. But that's Mr. Brad Keselowski, Bad Brad, right there in 3rd, man. Got to take him 3rd on that list. I just feel like they got some momentum in the camp. We'll see what he does. Could go out and get that win. 4 for me, Sean Err's favorite, Mr. Kyle Busch. Like I said, the guy could go out and win every week. Had some really good runs as of recent, man. I think that they're building momentum in the right direction quietly, and it seems to me that every time that he's able to go out and get some seat time, whether it be in the truck or the Xfinity Series, log some laps, he races a lot better on Sunday. We all know they limit guys now on how many they can do it, so he can only do it so many times a year. But I really think that seat time and the lack of practice that we're fearing right now with him, that's what you're seeing him slacking and lacking compared to what we've seen in years past. And there's more talent and different changes of the car that might not fit his race style. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, I think that he's going to get some seat time in, guaranteed. And it's probably going to be a pretty good weekend for Kyle Busch, man. So 5 for me. Can't leave him out anywhere we go, and it's kind of a toss-up between the other 2 teammates over there at JGR. Not going to be Christopher Bell, but the 11 and the 19, you can kind of throw those around. I'll put them 5th on the list. Like I said, we'll have to see what they can go out and do, what they bring. If they can go out and get that win, it'd be, Truex be big, get the ball rolling right. Denny, I think it'd mean even more just for the simple fact, winless so far through 18 races of the season, halfway through the season, he doesn't have a win. But like I said, both of them talented enough that at any given time they can go out and either get that win or get another win, kind of get that ball and that momentum moving in the right direction. Say it every day. NASCAR is a momentum sport, man. When guys are finishing really good, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, constantly 2-3 races, it's only a matter of time before you see them slowly moving up that chain to compete for a win. Could go up and compete for a win. We'll just have to see. Now, dark horse for me on this is something that's pretty funny. I think and I feel if this guy can keep it all together and run a complete race, man, not go out and just kind of run at 100 miles an hour every single lap, which I know that's his style, that's how he does it. But the Watermelon Man and Ross Chastain there, I put him as my dark horse this week. I've really liked what Ganassi's been doing. Really good runs here over the last couple weeks. Maybe not the finishes, but there again, showing some strength in the engine department, showing some strength with this man in the way that he's able to drive. Like I said, I really think that he's going to have a good run here at Nashville and bring it home, man. So we'll have to see. Could go out and get that win. Who knows, man? But that'd be my dark horse pick. Getting ready to move right into the grubbing part, man. I tell you what we're grubbing on tonight. It's one of my wife's absolute favorites. Man, it is the Gamecock salad from here. All kinds of different veggies. She loves it fried, feta with ranch. That's what we're grubbing on tonight. It's coming up some point in time. If not, that's what we're eating. If you've never had it from here at Coach's Corner, I highly suggest it, man. It is a very good salad. I love it. Wife loves it. Absolutely amazing, man. Yep, got the salad coming up. Here's the Gamecock salad. Thank you, ma'am. Greatly appreciated. As I say all the time, man, this is the jam. This is my wife's jam. Definitely love this salad. Looking absolutely phenomenal tonight, man. So great job to the coach's kitchen staff as well, man. Those guys definitely pump out some good eats, man. As always, man, big shout out to my brother out there, PJ Zuko as well, man. ESPN Coastal 104.3 every Sunday, 9 o'clock. You can catch PJ and myself doing it up right there on Green White Checkered, man, getting you ready for that race day. Maybe some new news breaks after Wednesday when you're tuning in to Rubbin' and Grubbin'. We will definitely be touching base on that Sunday before race time, man. 9 o'clock, 9 to 9:30, 104.3, man, ESPN Coastal. Great show. Thank you, PJ, for doing that for us, man. Great time. Ready for this Sunday show. Know it's going to be another good one, brother. Hey, man, shout out to all the shows up here at Coach's, man. Coach Carl's not going to make it on tonight. He's doing his coach's thing, what he loves to do. He's got a big deal. I think a doubleheader going on. Got some coaching stuff to do. But always tune in for the show, man. And also, Coach Carl's got a baseball show he does up here, man. Who's on First Base, live with Kyle Larson, man. They touch base on everything local baseball, your Braves, the Bananas, man. Great show, awesome show. 19th hole with the Herb Brothers, man. Those guys are always a blast. If you hadn't seen it, you can check it out on YouTube live from Henderson's cabin of this past Masters. It's just a funny show to watch, man. Those two guys are absolute clowns, man. They have a great time, and it's awesome watching two brothers go back and forth. I mean, you can never beat that, right? And big shout out to Hot Grits, Travis Spencer, man, doing their thing out there on the podcast, Spotify, anywhere you can catch podcasts availability, man. Check it out, Hot Grits. Hey, man, as I always say, big shout out to John and Adele Henderson as well, man, for not only, doing what they do for us on Rubbin' and Grubbin', but doing what they do for everybody in the community, man, and also giving us a great place to come, spend time, make some memories, not only with our friends, with our families. Great eats, great drinks, man, great sports all the time. It is Coach's, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Like I say, like, share, follow all our social media, man. Check us out. We do some different things on some different outlets, man. Greatly appreciated, y'all. As I said, man, don't have to say it for too much longer, but I'm going to say it as long as I can. Hope you guys had a blast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay safe. Love your hug ones. And until next time, man, there it is. Wash your hands, y'all. Love you guys, man. See you next week. Happy Father's Day, man.